Hey, what's up, everybody? Haven't come to you in a while with one of these, but this is basically a video to kind of coach you or to help you or prompt you to doing some small things or showing you some small things that you can do as a citizen of the United States to help save our democracy and to make a better country and thus a better world. So today I wanted to focus on, you've seen me make a lot of phone calls to people like Marsha Blackburn or Tim Burchett or some of my elected officials in Tennessee to express my dissatisfaction with essentially the decisions they made, usually as it relates to Ukraine, but in the case of the past few weeks, could have been a confirmation, an unqualified nominee from the Trump administration for a cabinet position, any number of things. We have lots of reasons to be dissatisfied, which makes it even more important when someone does the right thing to let them know how much we appreciate it. Now, Senator Thom Tillis is not my elected official. He's next door in North Carolina. For those of you who don't know, I live in New York, but I'm from Tennessee. I pay taxes in Tennessee. So I end up usually calling Tennessee politicians or elected officials because they, most of the time, do not follow with what I believe are Tennessee values or American values. In New York, it's a little bit different. Most of the time, I'm already agreeing with them. And quite frankly, it's already popular opinion. So I feel like my opinion doesn't count as much. However, when you have a Republican who is standing up, as Thom Tillis is, against the Trump administration, I think it's important. So for those of you who don't know about Thom Tillis, here's a couple of very principled stands that he's made. First of all, for Ukraine, when Trump was spreading some of the Russian disinformation earlier this year and talking about Ukraine started the war, Thom Tillis took a very passionate stand on the Senate floor and proclaimed what is the truth. What we all know is that Russia is a failed terrorist state. They are the aggressor, and Ukraine is the victim. They did not start the war, which everybody knows. But for some reason, we're an upside down world, and Trump is leading that. And so Thom Tillis said, no, I'm not going to allow this lie to be unchallenged, and I'm going to stand up and do something about it. The most recent thing that he did was he essentially killed the nomination of Ed Martin, who was one of Trump's nominees to be Attorney General in the Washington, D.C. office. And basically, for those of you who don't know who Ed Martin is, he was essentially a stop the steal kind of guy. He wanted to, he took the position of the January 6th people, which of course Trump has pardoned them. But, he was so partisan that Tom Tillis stood up to him. Now, in my humble opinion, there are people that are already have been confirmed to the cabinet that are wholly unqualified. RFK Jr., Kash Patel, um, Nome, the Department of, I mean, Pete Hegseth. I mean, the list goes on. I don't know where Thom Tillis was on those, but I know that he took a principled stand with Ed Martin. So I just wanted to let him know how much I appreciate it, even though I'm not a constituent. I'm an American citizen, right? So this is something you can do, even if you don't live in North Carolina and you notice that someone on the other side of the aisle, possibly, even though I'm an independent, most people think I'm Democrat because of the way I believe about things, certainly right now. But basically, if someone's on the other side of the aisle and they do something that you agree with, let them know that you appreciate it and that bipartisanship is the only way forward here. So I'm going to give him a call. I just sent an email as well. Let's see what happens. His number, just so you know, in the DC office is 202-224-6342. You can just Google, call Thom Tillis and it'll pull up. So here we go.
Hello, this is Thom Tillis, Senator from the great state of North Carolina. Thank you for calling our office. I'm sorry we missed your call. If you'd like to leave a detailed comment for me or a member of my staff about legislation, please press 1. If you're a North Carolina resident and need help resolving, wait while I transfer your call. Please leave your message after the beep.
Sure. Hi, Senator Tillis. My name is Robert Rose. I am a constituent in neighboring Tennessee, so I'm not your constituent, but I just wanted to call and say thank you so much for the principled stand that you took most recently in blocking the nomination of a very unqualified pick from the Trump administration, Ed Martin. Thank you so much. And also, thank you so much for the stand that you're taking to help Ukraine and to ensure that Russian disinformation doesn't take hold and that people are aware that, of course, Russia is the aggressor and that Ukraine is fighting for democracy and American values, and we should be supporting them. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I've been to Ukraine several times. I have many friends there. I filmed there. I'm going again. And your stand is not unnoticed. And I greatly appreciate it. And even though I'm not a Republican, I really do appreciate what you're doing. Thank you. All right, so that's it. Just leave a heartfelt message. And listen, I don't know if they listen to it. I know they log them, and I would imagine they get, some Trumpers, some MAGAs, some crazy lunatics are paying attention, and they're probably calling and saying negative things to this guy. So I think it's really important that there's some good compliments in there. And I can tell you that from a guy who gets emails, not to the level that Thom Tillis does. By the way, it's Thom Tillis. Thom, Thom Tillis, Tillis, if you're Googling it. But I can tell you from a guy who gets emails, about a show or something I said, it is very, very important to get that positive feedback. For me, one negative comment is worth like 10. It has the weight sometimes of 10 positive comments. But when you're getting pounded and hit with disinformation and possibly Russian trolls and bots and just this negative onslaught of information, which I have been on the receiving end before, I can tell you that those real people that comment and that leave just words of encouragement, it means so much. So I think it's important to continue to try to use a little bit of the carrot and the stick. Whenever you're making these phone calls, let people know when you're unhappy. Let people know when you're happy. Let them know, even if you're not a constituent, if you're happy or if they say something crazy. Of course, you could just be calling people all the time because people are just saying outrageous stuff all the time. You don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. No one does. But when something's important to you, you should, I think, take advantage of the fact that we live in a free democracy so far, and you'd like to keep it that way, and let people know when they vote or take actions that you agree with, and when they vote or take actions that you don't agree with, and especially if it's something really near and dear to your heart, such as Ukraine is for me, something that you have a real special relationship with, or it's really going to affect you, or it's going to affect people or you have some expertise to offer. I think it's super important. It gives you a little bit more credibility than the average Fox News viewer who's just calling outraged because somebody didn't, bow down low enough and kiss the boots of Donald Trump, enough. Which Thom Tillis is standing up and he's saying, no, this is a democracy. We are not a monarchy. Trump is not a king. He doesn't just get to do what he wants. As we have branches of government here, and we're his checks and balances. So Thom Tillis, again, he did the right thing in my view, and I wanted to, at least reward him for that. Tomorrow he may do something that I don't agree with, and maybe I'll let him know then. But for now, I just wanted to let him know. Again, his phone number is 202-224-6342. That's his DC office. And if you leave a message like I did on the weekend or after hours, they'll log that call. And just be honest, let them know. Always be polite. Something I need to listen to myself. Even if you're in disagreement with people, try to be civil. Okay, that's it for today. Those are the little things you can do to help save democracy. Doesn't take a lot of time. Thanks.